Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome to another Magic Arena Explorer video. So today we are playing some mono green kind of Atraxa ramp. So we have a basic mono green ramp shell that's building up to casting Atraxa as one of our payoffs, and also Ugin the Spirit Dragon as the other. We've also got some Feasting Troll Kings, the Great Henge, Vorinclex, lots of things which basically pay us off for producing lots and lots of mana. They're kind of our powerful finishers. And essentially, the idea behind the deck, like all RAM decks, is that we get as much land into play as possible. Um, Ideally, all of the colors of mana that we need to cast Atraxa, and then we start playing these powerful spells. So we've got 4 Llanowar Elves at the 1-drop slot, as well as Adventurous Impulse, which lets us look for additional lands and or creatures, depending on what we need. We've got Wolf Willow Haven, which is kind of a mainstay of the mono-green Devotion decks. Doubles up the amount of mana that the land it produces is put onto it. Dryad of the Ilsean Grove, which allows us to play additional mana, Topiary Stomper, which ramps us when it enters the battlefield, and then Invasion of Zendikar, which similarly allows us to look for 2 basic lands, put them onto the battlefield tapped, so it's one of the main ways of getting our additional colours that we need for Atraxa. And then also we have Vorinclex as well, which lets us search for 2 forest cards. So yes, there's a lot of ramp, and then we also have an Invasion of Ikoria that lets us search for a specific creature. So that may be a mana elf, it may be a tertiary stomper, or it may be, if we have enough mana, one of our finishers. So we can just go and fetch a Phyrexian. We can Atraxa, who is a Phyrexian, or the Feasting Troll King, or Vorinclex, or whoever it may be. So we have a few battles as well in the deck, and then we're also running a Wrenn and Realmbreaker, which not only fixes our mana, allowing us to cast Atraxa even if we don't have the exact right colours, but also lets us mill cards and turn lands and or any other permanent from our graveyard to our hand. And then, as I say, so our finishers are Vorinclex, which is a 6/6 with Trample and Reach that lets you search for 2 forest cards when it enters the battlefield, and you can also exile it into the Grand Evolution, which I won't read it out, it wins the game. Feasting Troll King, which is a 7/6 that once it's in play is quite hard to get rid of because it comes with 3 food tokens, and you can sacrifice those 3 foods to bring it back from the graveyard. Turntimber Symbiosis, which can double as a land, but also lets us just search the top 7 of our library for a creature. Atraxa, we all know what that does by now, 7/7 Flying Vigilance, Death Touch, Lifelink, that also lets you look for a card of each type among the top 10. Ugin the Spirit Dragon essentially comes down, wipes the board, deals with specific threats, all very good. And then the Great Henge is one of the great engines of the deck. It comes into play cheaply, depending on what else you've got on the battlefield, and then ramps you and also helps draw you cards. And then in the mana slot, we've got 14 forests, because this is essentially a mono green deck. We've got 2 copies of the World Tree, which allows us to turn all of our lands into add 1 mana of any colour, 2 Fable Passage to go and get the basic lands we need, 1 copy each of Island, Plains, and Swamp, so when we do want to cast Atraxa we can, and then 1 Beseiju who endures as our utility land. And then looking in the sideboard, we've got 2 copies of Unlicensed Hearse to help deal with the opponent's graveyard, 3 copies of Prowling Serpapod, and 3 Shifting Ceratops, which are kind of anti-control things. So Prowling Serpapod cannot be countered and also stops other creatures you cast being countered. Shifting Ceratops similarly can't be countered and has protection from blue. Ronus the Indomitable, Death Touch and Indestructible. God Eternal Ronus, which allows us to double the power of each other creature we control, and also is very hard to get rid of. We've also got our End the Game sideboard card, so we've got 3 copies of Nissa Ascendant Animist, which, if it ever comes down for 7, essentially acts as a game-winning overrun effect, but you could also bring it down earlier and either start creating Phyrexian creatures or deal with opposing artifacts or enchantments. And then we've got Finale of Devastation. Does a similar thing to Invasion of Ikoria, just without the battle on the other side. But also, if you ever get to X is 10 or more, it essentially acts as a kind of Crater Hoof Behemoth effect and will also win you the game. So that is the deck. Interesting to see how it does. It's another build around Atraxa. There are lots of different ways of playing Atraxa. There's Atraxa Reanimator, Atraxa Creativity, Atraxa Transmogrify. So this is simply a kind of the fairest way of playing Atraxa, which is essentially to ramp up to the 7 mana you need and then just play it from your hand. So that's the deck. Hit those like and subscribe buttons. You know what I'm going to say. And we will go on to that and see how we go on. Yeah, decent enough. So let's open with an elf. Okay, Rakdos it is. So let's pop a Willowhaven down. Grixis instead of Rakdos. Fair enough. Interesting. Okay, let's grab. Now what are we grabbing here? The World Tree, a Troll King. Yeah, let's take the World Tree. I think. Temples. That's fun. So let's play the World Tree. Disappointed to draw another one, to be honest. I'd rather have an untapped land, but can't have everything. Okay, play another World Tree. Play an Invasion of Zendikar. Let's have Swamp Plains, just in case. Our colours of mana don't really matter now, but okay, they do have a Thoughtseize. Never knowingly without one. Foretell card in Rakdos. That's interesting. Okay, so does this allow us to cast both? Probably, because we can -2 it. So that's -2 Red and Realmbreaker. Yep, that'll do. Play the Feasting Troll King. Now it's on the battlefield, it's much harder to get rid of. You don't. I mean, you can kill it now. I really wouldn't. Okay, I'll bring it back again. No, they might have another removal spell. It's entirely possible. Fair enough. Okay, that's not ideal. Okay, this is an interesting deck our opponent's playing. Really do with an Ugin or something now. That's another Epiphany. Troll King's not bad. Let's bring back the other one. It's not legendary, is it? No. Yep. So they're going to try and bird me to death, which is an entirely reasonable thing to do, but if they're not careful, they will die to the Troll Kings. Ah, okay. Yeah, the opponent just had the perfect answer to everything we did there, so if we managed to get Atraxa onto the battlefield, it might not have been so bad. So let's... what are we putting in here? I think let's put in Nissa, as they run a lot of one-for-one removal. Let's take out the Troll Kings. Yeah, that Invoked Despair they got was just ridiculous. But then it's a ridiculous card, so what do you expect? Cool deck, though. I admire what they're doing, even if I don't like it. So we got the World Tree first, then Turn Timber Symbiosis if we don't draw a land. No, okay, let's start going big on our ramp cards. Invasion of Zendikar is probably... Is that the best draw? Is that the best thing to take here? No, fair enough. Alright, let's play Tertiary Stomper. Let's go get Swamp. Doesn't really matter, the World Tree is going to do the work for us here, but it's interesting nonetheless. Okay, let's invade Zendikar. Let's grab these two. Let's play Nissa for full mana. Let's make it 8/8. They might have an answer straight away for Nissa. No, but to be honest, leaving behind an 8/8 is not bad. Yep. Let's hope we can hit an Atraxa. Yep, that'll do. So let's take Ugin, Beseiju, Wolf Willowhaven, Vorinclex, and the Great Henge. Let's play the Great Henge. Let's pop a Wolf Willowhaven on the World Tree. Okay, that was a pretty good turn. I've seen worse. So we've got 11 lands, so not quite enough to play both Ugin and Vorinclex next turn, which is a shame. Okay, let's drop Vorinclex onto the battlefield. Let's play Llanowar Elf. Let's pop a Wolf Willowhaven on the World Tree again. Play another Invasion of Zendikar. Let's pass the turn. Certainly doing our best not to make it easy for them, but they have had the best answers to everything we've done so far. Okay, not liking that at all. Sure. Grixis Breach? How do you even describe this deck? How dare you steal my Ugin from me? Okay, that's a pretty good draw. Okay, Adventurous Impulse, Invasion of Ikoria, Ugin the Spirit Dragon, Forest, another Atraxa. Ugin the Spirit Dragon. Okay, do it again if you can. I am down to 15 cards, however, so I will have to keep an eye on that. Can't really afford to Atraxa again. Oh, they're looking in my graveyard. I don't like the look of that. Interesting that they're not using Otawara to... Okay. Grabbing an Atraxa of their own, fair enough. Interesting. They did not hit a removal spell. Okay, that's their Ulrun's Epiphany. So, what am I doing here? So, I can attack with Atraxa. I can play Invasion of Ikoria, but what am I going to get? Nothing particularly interesting, I don't think. Well, let's open with a Dryad. Because I might just draw Nissa, in which case I think I win the game. How many Nissas have I got left, actually? So, one. No, there's two in the bin, so. Okay, let's go hunting again. Sure. Well, let's attack with Atraxa. Interesting. Okay. Now let's bop our opponent in the face. I think we're just going to have to play another one here. So they've got an Auron's Epiphany in hand, but not much else going on here. So let's take Nissa, Topiary Stomper. I think that will do. Let's play our Topiary Stomper. No lands. Play a land. Pass the turn. Okay. Was fairly obvious they were holding on to that. Discard land. Now I've completely lost track of what's going on. So I guess this is kind of a Grixis Reanimator deck then. I'm seeing the Cruelty of Gix as well. So they're going to have to Ulrun's Epiphany here. And then what do they do? Unless they can get Nissa out of my hand, I think they're in trouble here. Okay, that's interesting. It's not enough, though. They don't have enough land. Okay, that copy doesn't do anything, though. And they're dead, I think. They must be, because, yeah, if I play Nissa, I'm -7. They take 1,000,000,000 damage. I mean, they're dead on board anyway, even without Nissa, but just to make sure, let's play Nissa Ascendant Animist. Bop them in the face with Ugin. -7 Nissa. And hit them for several 100,000 damage. Okay. So now I know for sure they're a Reanimator deck. The Hearse is going in. And 2 of my Ugins are coming out. I think that makes sense, yes. We can eat our own graveyard of anything that might be interesting for them. Now, Breach the Multiverse, of course, just gives them everything they want from our graveyard, but typical that our opponent would be playing Reanimator when we're playing a deck like this, but such are the vagaries of life. Wolf Willowhaven it is. Oh, go away! Honestly. Do they ever not have a Thoughtseize? Don't they ever get bored of being annoying? Foreign Clex. Which, even if they kill, has given us the additional mana we need, so... Okay, just a shark. Ha. Hidden Reach. Now they're never going to talk to me again. Okay, let's go to attacks. Fair enough. Maybe should have left the elf behind. Meh. It won't slow us down for long. Pop another Wolf Willowhaven into play. Now, Invoke Despair is pretty bad news here, but let's hope they just don't have it. There's nothing hugely interesting for them to get with the Cruelty of Gix. I mean, Topiary Stomper is hardly, like, world-breaking. Yep, okay. So they're going to take our Ugin, but they can't stop us playing the other one. And it will kill them, because they will have to go and search their library for a card. Let's play Ugin. Kill their shark. Attack. Put them to 2. They will now lose 3 life. Okay, we got there in the end against a very interesting deck our opponent was playing. Very grindy match. A good match, but we did win. So, and ultimately, that's what we're all here for. Okay, that was quite a long game, but we did okay. So let's open an elf. Who knows, it might even survive. Nope. Nice idea, though. We'll grab an Atraxa. Rakdos. How novel. Pop a tertiary stomper into play. Go fetch plains. I say plains, I fetch an island. I, of course, know what I mean. Let's drop another one into play so we can Atraxa next turn. Sure thing. Yeah, actually, we don't need to crack the Fable passage. We probably should, though, just because it'll help thin our deck out before we play Atraxa. So let's grab Ugin the Spirit Dragon, Invasion of Zendikar, Adventurous Impulse, Forest. Nope, they've seen enough. Fair enough. So, what are we bringing in against Rakdos? I think Ronus the Indomitable is probably quite good. I think Nissa, just spitting out tokens. And let's take out Feasting Troll King. Maybe one Tertiary Stomper as well, just because it tends to just sit there. Although, actually, yeah, let's take out an Invasion of Zendikar here. Yeah. Him. It's not great. Not really having anything to do until we... let's pop away Invasion of Ikoria for the moment. Let's go grab another land. Okay, we'll just miss land entirely. Okay, must be grateful for some small mercies. Our opponent's missing land drops as well. They kept a one-lander. But they have a fatal push, fair enough. So it's just a question of who draws some decent cards first. Okay, well, I'll keep ramping. Hopefully get to Atraxa. One more land is all it takes. Okay, go ahead. Hey, they got there. So did we. So let's take Nissa, Forest, Elf, Greathenge. Just in case they have a Shieldred's Edict or something like that. I think we know where all our forests went. They're in the... Okay, so what are we doing here? I think let's play Nissa for full mana. Let's create an 8/8. Play the Greathenge. Pass the turn. Yeah, they could take the invasion of Zendikar, not so fussed about that. Sure thing. Our 8/8 survived, though, which is the main thing. Yep. Oh, well, that was a very silly match, but quite a fun one. Let's move on. Okay, we're on the draw, and that is a bad hand. That's also a pretty bad hand, but the Turn Timber Symbiosis is saving it for us. So let's pop away Feasting Troll King. Okay. Turn 1 Thoughtseize never ceases to be incredibly tedious. Interesting choice, okay. Drop the Turn Timber. Interesting, okay. Take another land. Let's fetch our Swamp. Play Tertiary Stomper. Fetch our Plains. Okay, Murderous Rider on the Stomper I could live with. It's ramped us. Okay. An unanswered Shieldred may be a problem, but... Ha! Okay. So I'm fairly sure I'm super dead here, but... Oh yeah, they can just activate the Hive of the Eye Tyrant. Let's move on and hope for a better hand. So, what are we bringing in against Mono Black? God Eternal Ronus, Ronus the Indomitable. Invoke Despair is too good against Nissa. So let's take out 2 Feasting Troll Kings, and go again. Been some super high variance games so far. We've dominated a couple, and then we got absolutely mauled in that one. So, yep, decent enough. Take Tertiary Stomper, I think, here. As much as Vorinclex is always an interesting choice. Do you think any deck? Do you ever play a deck that doesn't have turn 1 Thoughtseize? Okay, that's Invasion of Zendikar. So we'll be able to Ugin next turn. Probably. Okay, they're definitely advertising they've got a Murderous Rider in hand, but maybe not. Okay, let's play another one. Let's bop the Invasion of Zendikar in the face. Yep. That is not something that can be duressed. Let's add red mana, just because we can. Ah! Drop Atraxa into play. Let's take another Invasion of Zendikar, Adventurous Impulse, Ugin the Spirit Dragon. Nope. Okay. Game 3, the final game. So I am going to pop in 2 Prowling Serpopods, take out 2 Topiary Stompers. Just give us a little bit of a thing going on in the 3-drop slot that doesn't just sit around for ages. Okay, we've got Endless Ramp. We are eventually going to need something to do with it, but I think that's fine. Hey! Okay, another adventure of Zendikar is not ideal. Let's take Atraxa here. I think we are more in the market for something to do. That's interesting. Okay, I think it's worth just killing that and leaving our elf in play. Tough choice for our opponent here, because as soon as we draw a land, they're in serious trouble. Ah, interesting. Okay, Necromancer, fair enough. What are they going to take out? Because they can strip the Invasion of Zendikars out our hand, but we... Llanowar Elf. Why would you do that? That's an odd choice. Yeah, not sure I agree with that at all. Now, they're getting away with it because we're not drawing any land, but... Alright, looks like we're going to have to do this the difficult old-fashioned way. So let's take a land. Okay, that'll do. Let's invade Zendikar. No, don't want that at the moment. We want these two. I mean, you're very welcome to blow up that, but I'll just go and get a forest. Makes sense. That seems aggressive when you know I've got an Atraxa coming down in a second. No, okay, they've just given up. Fair enough. There we are, 3 wins in a row. That's not bad for a deck just off the pile. So yeah, it turns out you can turn any deck into an Atraxa deck and it becomes good. Funny that. It's almost as if Atraxa is basically Gristlebrand but better. Oh, let's open a Lord of the Rings pack just to see what we get. Mouth of Sauron, Gothmog. The Fall of Gil-galad. Very good. Yeah, I'm mulling over whether to do a Lord of the Rings draft and record the video. I'm a massive fan of the IP, but obviously it not being Explorer legal is a bit of a shame. But because the power level actually I think would fit quite well into Pioneer, but it is what it is. Anyway, there's the mono green ramp with Atraxa deck. So yeah, I seem to do pretty well. So hit those like and subscribe buttons as always, and I will see you next time.